Karen and the Cryptids, Episode 6, Zylar-9. One afternoon, Missy and Nessie were at the lake getting ready for a swim. Missy says, "Let's swim to the other end of the lake and back." Nessie says, "What? That's 40 miles away, if you're talking about the place I'm thinking of." "You know, that big marina over on the other side of the lake," Missy says. "Yes, that's 40 miles away. There's no way you could swim that far. Never mind doing it by sunset," Nessie says to her. Missy says, "I just swam that yesterday, and it took about 2 hours round trip." "You're kidding me," Nessie says. "All right then, I can swim 60 miles per hour, so I'll let you go first and I'll follow you. If you have any problems, I'll help you, okay?" Missy agrees. Missy begins her swim. Nessie is behind her, and Missy begins to pick up speed. Nessie is surprised at how fast Missy is going. Suddenly, Missy jumps out of the water at least 10 feet in the air. Nessie is shocked as Missy is swimming faster and faster. They reach the marina 40 miles away in about 45 minutes. "How did you do that?" Nessie asked. "I don't know," says Missy. "Let's race back and see what you could do," says Nessie. They make a race out of the swim back, and 35 minutes later they are back where they started. Nessie says, "That's a 40-mile stretch across that lake, I swear." "Wow, maybe it's because I'm hanging out with you that I'm able to swim so fast," Missy said. "Maybe so. Perhaps Zylar-9 can get to the bottom of this." Back at the house, Missy and Nessie meet up with Zylar-9. Zylar-9 is having a conversation with a fellow ham operator on the 70-centimeter band. "What's on your minds, ladies?" Zylar-9 asks. Nessie says, "What's the distance from the lake shore to the big marina?" Zylar-9 says, 41.682 miles. Why do you ask?" "Missy and I just traveled in the water, swimming it in 35 minutes, said Nessie. "Did you help Missy, or was Missy pulled along in the wake?" asked Zylar-9. "Missy was ahead of me, Zylar-9. "Well, then it couldn't be your wake. Were you pushing the water ahead of her or anything like that?" Nessie said no, and Missy claims to have swam that route yesterday in 40 minutes. "Missy, how did you do this?" She says, "I don't know." Let me scan you and see what comes up." The scanner starts buzzing, and a puff of smoke comes from it. "Dang, the scanner is on the fritz again. Sorry, the test is inconclusive for now, and I suspect that Missy has gleaned some of your powers from you." "Yeah, that's probably it," says Nessie. "Unless she's a cryptid, of course," Zylar says, and they all start laughing. "Zylar-9, you can go home anytime you like, right?" asks Missy. "Oh yes, I fixed my ship a long time ago. As you humans say, it's fit as a fiddle." "So why are you still staying here, and how did you get here?" asked Missy. "Oh, that. Well, it's kind of weird, but aren't we used to that around here?" "I was doing a survey mission with several others of my kind in 3 ships, and I had some issues with my cloaking system. Before I could get away from the planet or fix it, I was shot down by the army of your planet. I was locked up, and although I was treated well, I was not allowed to leave. They put my spaceship back together just enough to reverse engineer it. I took and scavenged some things like vacuum tubes and various components and made a makeshift scanner. The human tech was big and clunky, but it was very clever, and the scanner worked. I kept it hidden from the humans. One day, I got an energy signature from my busted spaceship. They got the engines online. This was my chance to go home. I built a simple energy weapon from vacuum tubes, bubble gum, and a 9-volt battery. I was able to fire 1 shot, and that's it. I would blast my cell door and bluff my way to the ship. I activated the weapon. It took 2 minutes for the tubes to warm up, and then a burst of energy blasted my cell door. It blew apart into little pieces, and I made my escape, carrying the now useless weapon with me as a bluff. I got to the ship, threatened the guards, and entered. The spaceship was a wreck. I rearranged some of the navigation equipment and activated the computer. "Computer, status report," I asked. The computer stuttered and said, Systems online. Navigation up. Propulsion 20%. Life support 0%. Docking clamps bypassed. Get us out of here, I told the computer, and we got airborne. Propulsion system failing. What shall we do? Asked the computer. Land us somewhere remote, and I'll try to fix the cloaking, I said to the computer. I crash landed in the woods, later finding out it was in Oregon. I was working on the cloaking system when I heard a noise. There was someone or something in my ship. It came closer, and was very quiet doing so. The translator came online, and I could hear two creatures talking to each other. They seemed harmless, so I yelled out for one of them to get me my wrench. To my shock and surprise, I was given the wrench. I was deep under the console, so all they could see was my feet. I fixed the cloaking system and came out. Hi, I'm Zylar-9, but you can call me Zip if you like. Who are you? I'm Bigfoot, and my friend is Vampire Kid. I pulled out a scanner and scanned them. The scanner was glitchy, so I had to smack it, and it began working. Missy interjected. Is it the same scanner you just scanned me with? Zylar-9 said. Yes, I can't get good replacement parts for it. Well, the scan revealed an unknown simian and a human. Funny, Vampire Kid is all human but doesn't look human. Anyway, you are a species I haven't encountered. Bigfoot says, yeah, long story. We'll tell you later. I said, great. We have to get the ship spaceworthy. Now I have a crew. Bigfoot says, what? I said, yeah, you're my new crew. Let me get some my branding iron and mark you as my slaves. Bigfoot says, I don't like that. I prefer to be free. Then I said, gotcha. I'm just messing with you. Bigfoot says, oh, very funny. I thought so, I said. The scans indicate that you have been wandering around a very long time and have been all over the planet. This is your opportunity to see other planets. In exchange, I only ask you to pull a few levers and turn a wrench from time to time. Have we got a deal? Bigfoot and Vampire Kid deliberate for a while and agreed. Bigfoot asks, I'm searching for an answer to enlightenment. And Zylar-9 says, our grade school children know that. The answer's 42. Bigfoot says, huh? Oh yeah, you can't understand the answer because you lack the mathematical skills to know the actual question. Let me help you. Zylar-9 pulls out a small device and says, better that I show you than to tell you, and activates the device. Suddenly, Bigfoot understands mathematics that no human understands, and in a flash, his entire life plays in his head. Poof! Bigfoot is lifted from the floor, and a great light comes from him. He becomes enlightened. Zylar-9 says, I love seeing that happen. It's always a trip to see someone get their mind blown like that. Vampire Kid says, ooh, me too. And Zylar-9 says, I can't do you because you're human. You have to do it the hard way. I said, hold on for a second while I get my crew branding iron. Bigfoot says, not with the branding iron again. I say, I can't believe I got you twice. And then we began repairs. Now that the cloaking device is stable, let's look over the engines. The engines are functional, but not enough to get us in space for now. We'll need to do extensive repairs, said Zylar-9. Bigfoot says, we definitely can't stay here forever. We will be discovered soon. Zylar-9 says, that's a valid point, Bigfoot, but where to go for repairs? Zylar-9 says, so we need a place to hide the ship. We need parts that don't exist on this planet. Our ship isn't spaceworthy, but it will fly, and it can cloak. Zylar-9 is very good at defining problems and finding solutions. Bigfoot gets an idea. We can get a house somewhere quiet. You can work on the ship and we'll run cover for you. That's a great idea, Zylar-9 says. How will we get the money for the house? Vampire Kid holds out his hand, concentrates, and poof, a 10-pound gold bar appears in his hand. Being cursed by a genie has its perks, he says. Bigfoot says, we can't just go out in public among the humans. Leave that one to me, says Zylar-9. Zylar-9 grabs a flannel shirt from the closet. Zylar-9 says, put this on, and he does. Vampire Kid says, where did Bigfoot go? And who is this guy? Bigfoot says, it's me, I'm Bigfoot. That's absolutely brilliant, says Vampire Kid. Can I have one too? Sure, says Zylar-9. Vampire Kid puts on a flannel shirt, and nothing happens. "It's not working," says Vampire Kid. "Oh, it must be because you're human," says Zylar-9. "We'll have to find another solution for you." Vampire Kid says, "Dang it." He then manifests another gold bar and says, "Make it a nice house." Will the cryptids find a house? Will Vampire Kid manifest more gold bars? How did Zylar-9 hide the ship? Where is Karen? Will the writer ever keep everything consistent? Will the narrator ever have a paying gig? Like and subscribe, or you'll never find out.